So here today, and this video is going to be all about the take it or leave it email. So if you didn't want to read the email, you just want to listen to the video, this is what this email is all about. Starting off, I'm going to do a quick little self-promotion. I am pumped about one of the new videos that I just released on my YouTube channel, and that's about how BiggerPockets, which is an investing website, changed my life. So if that is something that you want to hear the story on, go check that out. You can click here on this link and go check that out and tell me what you think of it. Gives a little bit of background of what I'm all about, but also just BiggerPockets investment website, how it changed my life. Made a big impact in my life. Politics. I thought about writing about politics in this email, but I'm not going to. Next thing on the email is Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. And so in the email, I give a couple links to different resources. One of the things that I am a firm believer that the blockchain method, Bitcoin cryptocurrency in general, it's going to be part of our future. But I always want to hear the other side of the perspective, right? So I finally found someone that is a big advocate that all of the cryptos and Bitcoin is going to go to zero. And so I want to hear his point of view. His name's Peter Schiff. And if you haven't heard of him, he is projected, he projected the '08 crash. So he was one of them that guessed right on that. And he said, he's an economist. So go check it out. If you want to hear the other side of the Bitcoin. And then lastly is more of a kind of deep within conversation I've had with myself and listening to a podcast. It hit home, and the podcast is called Front Row Dads, and that what they do on there is they just talk about what it looks like to be a family man with a business instead of a businessman with a family. So being a family man first. And I really enjoy that. They had a couple guys on, one named Dan Sullivan, the other named Tucker Max, and they just wrote a book. But what they talked about in this podcast was how high achievers, the action is the same on a high achiever that considers themselves successful and does not consider themselves successful. The one difference is the high achiever that considers themselves successful will compare their achievement to where they started, where the achiever that does not feel that they were successful compares their achievements to what ideal action would be if they would have done everything right, where they would be at in life. And we know that that's not a fair comparison. That's like watching Instagram reels and comparing your life to everything you see on Instagram. It's just not real life. So high achievement is something that since high school I've known I'm going to be successful of some capacity. Don't know what that looks like, don't know, but I'm going to work my butt off, and I'm dedicated to do that. And I've always I feel like I'm successful in many things. I'm always trying to get better. And so this podcast did a really good job of explaining, I feel successful because I'm comparing to where I started. I don't compare to the ideal. I think that's a false thought. So I try hard not to do that. And that's kind of what this podcast does. It's really good. I highly recommend it. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. And my quote for the day is, it's not really a quote because I don't know who said it, but one of my favorite things to think about is no decision is right or wrong when it's made. The decision is made right or wrong once you chose that decision, right? So if I choose to walk out this door, is that the right thing or not? I don't know. But what I do with it after I walk out the door is what's important. So your decision is not it is not right or wrong. The actions that happen after that decision are what could be right or could be wrong. I don't know if that's a quote,